Emma Britton, BBC Radio Bristol.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, dear. Now, tonight's Inside Out West on BBC One tells the story of adult fans of a popular children's TV cartoon. They're a group of fans of My Little Pony. They call themselves the Bronies, and they meet in Bristol.
So a brony is someone that's interested in My Little Pony, more specifically Friendship is Magic, the fourth generation of shows.
It's a term basically that refers to a fan in the same way that Trekker does for Star Trek or Whovian does for Doctor Who. Basically someone who's a fan of the franchise, watches the show, might collect merchandise like this, and basically just enjoys talking about it and sharing it with friends. Some people seem to think that it's sexual attraction to the characters, or that they might want to do things with actual horses, or they collect the cuddly toys or whatever to do lewd things to them, that kind of thing. Which is, again, sensationalist type and completely untrue. So many different types of people in the world who enjoy various different things, and as long as it makes someone happy and doesn't hurt them, what does it matter?
Marcus Lywood is a brony. Morning, Marcus.
Hi Emma, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Good to talk to you. How did you first get into My Little Pony, and did you realise that there were other people that loved it as much as you did?
Well, I first started watching it around April 2011 when a friend recommended it to me. Like a lot of people who are into My Little Pony, usually recommended it by a friend. And then, I watched the first episode, enjoyed it, second episode, enjoyed it, and so on and so forth. And not soon after I started watching it, I found this already huge community at the time. The show had only been out for a few months at that point, and it was already growing a huge community. And I started joining that, and since then I've been a part of it. And it's it's been such a huge community and always has been.
And did you at any point think, how old are you, Marcus? I didn't know how old you are.
I'm 23 years old.
Okay, so at any point did you think, I'm 23, I know My Little Pony isn't really aimed at your average 23-year-old, but I really enjoy it. Is that okay? Did you have to sort of reason with yourself that some people might view it as not usual?
Not really, for me personally. I mean, for some people, they kind of have that kind of apprehensiveness to begin with, because obviously it's a My Little Pony show. It's mainly aimed at little girls and all that. So obviously watching it for the first time, I'll be thinking, why would I watch My Little Pony, even though I'm typically, in the adult age, a male and that. But I think for a lot of people, they kind of grow out of that. And for me, I've never really had that kind of issue. I've always just been interested in it and nothing really against it, really.
What is it about? And it's the current generation of My Little Pony. It's all moved on since I was younger. But what is it about it? I know that the programme and the concept and the brand has a really positive message. Is it about that, or is it about the way they look, or what is it that attracts you to them?
It's both of those, really. Another attraction, really, is the main creator of the show is Lauren Faust, who used to work on Powerpuff Girls and Foster Stone from Imaginary Friends, which, growing up, were shows that me and a lot of people who watch My Little Pony grew up with as children. And there's also quite a lot of references to more kind of adult pop culture in the show that, the more parents that would watch the show with their kids, they would pick up on that. And obviously people around my age will also pick up on those as well, and they're kind of frequent as well in the show. And they're not the kind of things that kids would easily spot, but adults would spot and would understand where it's coming from.
A bit like, they used to do that in sort of Sesame Street and the Muppets, and also in modern day Disney as well, don't they? Now, I was worried, Marcus.
They do, yeah.
I'll be really honest. When I first heard about this story, I was so worried that you and your fellow bronies were going to get absolutely taken to task on social media because of what you do isn't what your average person in the street would think would be regular. But, I take my hat off to the way in which you and your fellow bronies have responded to some of the messages that you've received. Because as a group, you are really strong, aren't you? And you are really determined to show that this has actually had a really positive impact on your life, isn't it?
That's all we want to do, really. All we want to do is just show people around the world, because this is an international fandom, that all we want to do is we want to watch a show and enjoy the show, and that's all it is. There's nothing else to it, really.
What do you say to someone if they came up to you in the street and said, I think what you're doing is silly, it's childish, and it's not what a grown man should be doing? What would be your response, Marcus?
I'd say it's just my own thing. I mean, that's all it is, really. We all have our own interests, and this is one of mine. So that's all it is, really.
And I know you all adopt a My Little Pony name as well, don't you? So tell us about yours.
Well, some of us do. Me personally, I have a character who's a Pegasus, who obviously is a horse with wings, called Scribble. And it's kind of a character we just create just so we can just kind of have a kind of self in the show, really. It's kind of hard to explain, really, but it's just kind of a nice bit of fun to kind of go along with watching the show and collecting the merchandise and everything.
What has being a brony made a difference to your life about? Has it helped you?
Oh, definitely. It's made me more sociable, for sure. That's definitely helped with a lot of people, because a lot of people suffer with anxiety and depression like myself. Some of them also suffer from some form of autism as well, so they can struggle with kind of social cues. Being a My Little Pony fan kind of helps with that kind of stuff, because not only is the show really, really good, but the whole community aspect around it as well is very positive and welcoming to anyone of any age, any gender, anything like that.
Marcus,
and it just really helps them.
Marcus, it's been really good to talk to you, and I can't wait to see it tonight. Thank you so much for talking to me. Marcus Lywood, they're part of a group of adult My Little Pony fans that meet in Bristol. You can see the film, The Bronies, on tonight's Inside Out West on BBC One at 7:30, straight after the One show. And I know what some of you are thinking, and I can hear it, and I can imagine your facial expressions, and I can imagine what you're going to go into work and say to your mates, or go home and say to your other half. But watch it and then see if you still have the same opinion. If you have, that's fine. If not, I just think watch it and then make your judgment. It's BBC Radio Bristol. You're listening to me, Emma Britton. I'm with you until 9 o'clock.